All right, so we're going to get right into importing an MXF here. So I have a default job set up here where I have several different levels. So this is generally if you know what levels you can expect to see coming through on an MXF job. Um, though through SoftPlan, we can actually find these levels when we get our MXF export. So if we actually go into our soft plan export. So when you export the MXF, we actually get all of the levels as well as this text file. So in this file, for this particular job, we have 3 floors and the level height of those floors. So you can go ahead and set up a default if these are pretty much always what you're going to have, or you can actually go in and manually change each of these levels to be the appropriate height um, after the fact. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to show you we can come into levels, go to manage levels, and then here we can add levels, delete levels that are unnecessary. So for this particular job, we don't need a site plan, so I'm not going to worry about that. We have foundation, main floor, and second floor. And then you have your heights, your floor member depths, and additional information here. So here we have this job set up to reflect the settings that we saw before. We can just go ahead and click apply, and that'll save our changes, and then I'm just going to hit OK. All right, from here, I'm going to go File, Import, Import MXF Objects, and we're just going to go ahead and start with our foundation plan and hit Open. Okay, so here, some outputs for MXF actually have several levels in one file. For this output, we actually only have this one level, and we don't have the name field actually filled out. So we're just going to go ahead and I know that I opened my foundation, so I'm going to map this level to the foundation level within structure. That's what this button here does. So now this selected level is mapped to our foundation level. We're going to hit OK here. All right, so this is our mapping dialog. So this actually maps your walls to walls within structure. We have what are called schemes, and each scheme is essentially a set of properties for a wall. You can get your stud spacing, your materials, your sheathing, all sorts of things. We have, I think, over 100 properties at this point that we can assign to a scheme. So there's a couple different options here. As you can see, here we actually have the skin or the layers of the MXF wall that we see, and we can break those down here if we need to. We can see our core thickness, overall thickness. This will be different depending if there's multiple material layers within that wall. Wall reference side, we can say if we want to reference the primary side of the wall, the center of the wall. Leaving it unspecified will do its best to assign the geometry in a way that makes sense. But if you happen to know which one of these you want to associate, you can do that. Over here we have a couple radio buttons. Do not import. This one obviously will just not import any of the walls that are named this with this width. Import as a generic solid wall. This will import just as a solid wall within structure. It does. Solid walls don't have sheathing. Their material values you can only really calculate their volume for pouring purposes. But you can actually put sill plates on top of them if you want to. So that's what this one actually is. I can just tell by the width that it's not going to be one of my wood walls. Or we can do what's import as a mapped wall style, and we can do that for wood walls and get specific ones here. So for this one, I'm just going to import as a generic solid wall. This button down here, this actually will remember my choice here. So based off of the skins and the style name and the skin thicknesses, if all of these match a different wall and I hit remember details, then next time I import an MXF, I won't have to make these choices. It will just make the choices that I make right now. So I'm going to leave this for now, and I'm just going to hit OK. Okay, so here we have external load bearing. same name as the other one, but we actually have a different skin on this one. Once again, this is over a foot wide, so I'm going to import it as a generic solid wall. Same thing with this one. Once again, especially since this is a foundation layer, this makes sense. Just as a generic solid wall, and we should be okay. Okay, so this one, we actually have a scheme for solid walls that is 8 inches. So we're going to go ahead and associate that here because there's additional properties that I want to associate on this. And we're going to say remember details on that one. Okay, so here we have our walls. They came in from that MXF import, and I'll show you in 3D. So here's our foundation. So we've got all of our foundation walls and the geometry into structure. So now I'm going to go ahead and import the other levels, and we can take a look at what that looks like. So I'm going to go to my main floor, hit open. Okay, we're going to associate here, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so for wood walls, it's pretty similar, but a subtle difference here is we have some more properties that we want to make sure match. So this is 5.5 inches wide, so it's a 2x6. This is an external load-bearing wall, so that's my just 2x6 external. All of my external walls are load-bearing. This here, we actually, in the parent program that created this MXF, we can define it as a bearing or a non-bearing wall. This one was defined as non-bearing, but it was named load-bearing, so I'm going to assume it's load-bearing. And I'm going to remember my details. External load-bearing, once again, it says it's non-bearing, but due to the name, I'm going to assume that this is load-bearing. This is actually slightly less than 3.5 inches, which might be a problem if I'm trying to do a 2x4 exterior. It says that my core thicknesses here don't match. So what I can do there is I can actually modify the skin thickness in the MXF file to match, and it will just extend those walls a little bit. Okay, remember details. Okay, so here our main floor has come in. And it does take quite a while sometimes for this to generate, so I would say just be patient. Don't exit out of structure if it is taking some time, unless it's been obviously an obscene amount of time, in which case there may be a problem. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go through the last level here. Nothing that we haven't seen before, so I'm going to go quickly. Okay, we match our levels. Going to hit OK. Okay, this is a large wall, so it's going to be a generic solid wall. And the other levels have already been remembered because they were in a different one of my levels and I told it to remember my mapping. Okay, so here we have all 3 of our levels. They've imported, we've got our planes. They've been automatically associated with the levels that you would expect. One thing to note is that sometimes, the architect can define an opening in a way that we would never frame. So you do have to go through and make some changes that the architect may not have foreseen, but that obviously is to be expected. And that is pretty much it for our MXF import video. If you have any questions, please visit the MiTek support website and we'll be more than happy to help answer any that we can. All right, thanks a lot.